it's very
Oh, I'm
easy.
sorry. Wait a minute. Kids are dying. Kids are baby goats. Sorry.
Yeah,
Kids are dying.
it's very easy
Baby
to
goats are dying.
acknowledge that children are dying, right? That's perfectly fine. That doesn't result in not having bodily autonomy anymore. For the same reason that it would not be okay to kidnap you off the street and extract your blood to save children's lives. That's not okay. It's not okay for us to make laws to do that. In the same reason, it's not okay to force a woman to go through a pregnancy. Like this is just silly, right? We're obviously not going to make laws to take away people's bodily autonomy. I mean, you obviously don't care about equal rights of men and women, but I do, and I think that women should have the same rights as everyone else.
I wouldn't even grant that. You're being much more charitable than I would be.
Mm,
I'd make argue for every single point.
yeah, I my I typically am willing to grant different parts of the abortion argument to, figure out where people want to discuss it from their religious framework. But in general, my personal position is that there's a period of time whereby there's literally nothing there you could even call alive. And I would even go even further to consider that in that period, you still retain ownership of those cells in a literal fashion, in the same way that you obtain, like, you own your own sperm, or that women own their own eggs, right? So like when you do in vitro fertilization, right, and you have, like, frozen embryos in a freezer somewhere, you own those outright. Like, those are your property, right? And I think that that's perfectly fine, and that's exactly the way that the legal scenario should be. Like, obviously, those are not humans in any capacity. No one would ever think that those are humans, except a crazy nut job, right? And so you literally have ownership there. And I don't know the exact point where ownership ceases and it becomes another life, right? But there's going to be some period there where enough cellular, duplication or whatever ceases being 100% ownership and starts becoming some other life, right? But even then, I have no problem with the idea of calling it a life and then saying that, the woman has a right in their entirety to revoke consent, because of course they do, right? So whether or not that life has any meaning is an entirely different spectrum. Like, when does the life actually obtain experience or anything of the sort that we would consider part of being alive, right? And so the point is, you have these different periods of, like, pure ownership, and then some type of separate organism, separate tumor in your body, and and you can end consent at any time, that hasn't really achieved personhood by any stretch of the imagination. And then there's probably some period at some point where we would probably classify that the baby now has the ability to live outside the womb, right? And we might consider it like another human life per se, right? And so there's these different categories, but I've never even gotten that far of a nuanced discussion with a religious person. Like, that's not, that never seems to come up, because we never get that far. It's always these discussions of, like, 9 months stabbing heads as it comes out the womb, and fuck the women that are dying in parking lots, so.